What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Johnny K Picks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card, picks and predictions, along with my bet so far that I have for UFC Vegas 60, Sandhagen versus Song. And as always, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. And you know what? While you're doing that, hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss out on any of my new videos or live streams. So I know you think this looks a little different, and yes, it is. I'm going to try this out this week. I'm just going to do kind of a little live here and then just go through all of my picks and just right in a row. I'm not going to edit anything. We're going to do this one live. I'm feeling pretty comfortable now doing it in this way. So let's give it a shot here. So let's get all this stuff situated here. Okay, so we got the screen here. So like I said, I'm going to go over my picks and predictions. But first things first, I'm going to go over UFC 279 and the fights that we had here first. So let's go down to the very first one with Yohan Lainez versus Darren Weeks. I personally thought that Weeks won this one. Yohan got kind of lucky here. So yeah, sorry for all the Weeks bettors there, but Yohan got his hand raised. Not the greatest fight for him. I think he's a first round fighter and that's it. And Weeks at least can show that he has 3 rounds in him, but he needs a little bit of work as well. Elise Reed and Melissa Martinez. Martinez had that in the grasp of her hands, and she let it go in the 3rd round. So she could have won that, but Elise won it, and yep. And she's here to stay. And that's what she said in the interview. Next one, Alatang and Chad Hellinger. I was very impressed with Alatang. His striking looked great, good power. He won all 3 of those rounds pretty convincingly. Norma Dumont and Wolf. Norma Dumont looked very good as well. Very good striking. She outstruck the boxer and didn't really have to use her grappling until the 2nd and 3rd round. And yeah, she dominated her for 3 rounds. Barnett versus Collier. Very fun fight. Barnett came out with the ground and pound knockout, and he looked like the better fighter. And Collier, I think he might have went out a little too all out in the 1st round and, gassed out. And I think Barnett took advantage. Next fight, Tuliulian and Pickett. Pickett looks bad. Don't like him as a fighter. He doesn't look like he wants to be in the cage. He's an auto fade from the rest of the way going forward. Not to say Dennis is a good fighter as well, but he did better. He was mad after the point deduction, and I don't blame him because I don't think it should have been a point either. So good win for him. With Almeida and Anton, Almeida's a beast. We'll move on up to Arosa and Dawodu. Very good fight from Arosa. He outstruck Dawodu the whole fight. I don't know if there was an injury with Dawodu or what. He didn't look like himself, but Arosa took advantage and won. Walker and Cutelaba. I'm glad Johnny Walker got that win, man, because he needed it. He looked good. He got taken down. I was kind of scared. I had to bet on him, and he showed his good jiu-jitsu and came out ahead and got the rear naked choke. Aldana versus Chazian. Very interesting fight with the up kick to the liver knockout. I had a bet on the over 2.5, and I missed it by 9 seconds because of that. So that kind of sucks, but good win for Aldana. She looked like she was kind of losing that fight until that. So I don't want to say she was lucky, but very fortunate for that up kick to the liver that put her out. Daniel Rodrigues versus Li Jingliang. Very close fight. I thought Lee won that. Very controversial. I don't want to say the R word, robbery, but it was close. But man, it was a close fight. If Lee gave a little bit more in that 3rd round, maybe the judges would have gave him the 3rd round, but it looked like he was kind of cruising because maybe he thought he won the 1st and 2nd round. So, good win for Daniel. Got to give him that, but I thought Lee won that. So, Chimaev versus Holland. Yeah, Chimaev's a beast. Out wrestled Holland. We knew that was going to happen, but maybe not to that degree anyways. So he's trouble. And I like him being the new villain of the UFC. I hope he stays that way because it's more interesting if he's the villain, actually. I don't want him to be a good guy. I want him to be the bad guy. Let's make it happen. And the last fight, Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. They put on a good show. I'm not even going to say they put on a good fight. It was a good show. I think a lot of fans liked it. But for me, it just looked weird. Tony looked weird. Nate Diaz looked weird fighting. I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings about this one. Good win for Nate. I just don't believe that Tony tapped that fast and has never been submitted in his UFC career before until now. And remember when he fought Charles Oliveira and his arm looked like it snapped, but he didn't tap to that. But he immediately tapped to the guillotine choke when he put his head in. And it's just fishy to me. That's all I'm going to say. So good win for Nate. He's not going to be in the UFC anymore. He's got other stuff to do. I don't know what Tony's going to do. He might be, who knows? So yeah, so that was 279 and a little bit of a weird card. But yeah, I hope everybody did good on their bets. So my picks, I ended up going 7-6 on. And for my bets, I ended up actually barely losing minus 0.06 units. So a lot of my bets were messed up. They all basically became straight bets after the 3-fighter flip-flop, if you want to say. So I don't know. It's all right. I'm okay with it coming out basically even on this because it was all weird card, and especially after the flipping around with the fights, just all weird. But anyways, that was, like I said, that was UFC 279. So let's jump into UFC Vegas 60, Sandhagen versus Song. So we'll go to the first fight here, which is going to be Lookboonmee versus Denise Gomes. So here, Lookboonmee is 6'3", 26 years old, 5'1", with a 62-inch reach. And Gomes is 6'1", 22 years old, 5'2", with a 63-inch reach here. So this is an interesting fight, actually. Gomes is going to be making her UFC debut on short notice. She did just fight on the Dana White Contender Series 2 weeks ago, and she won. She's a very solid striker. She has decent grappling. She likes to push forward. She's very tough. She can take a punch, and she'll just keep pushing forward. So it's always good for fighters. And with Luma, she's also a very good striker as well. She has very good kicks. She's not known for her grappling or wrestling, but she can take down her opponents if she wants to. But she's more of a striker, more of a kickboxing kind of striker. But with my pick, though, I'm going to go with the UFC experience here in Luma. I actually think her striking is just a little bit more technical. I like the UFC experience as well. I think that's going to play a big part in this fight. And Gomes is coming in on short notice, so I'm not sure how her cardio is going to be. And usually for UFC debutantes, they tend to either freeze up or whatnot. And she's kind of young; she's 22 years old, so who knows what's going to happen here. So. With my pick, though, I'm going to pick Lookboonmee to win, and I think she's going to win here by decision. So we'll move on up to the next one here, which is Tony Gravely versus Javad Basharat. Gravely is 23-7, 30 years old, 5'5", with a 69-inch reach. And Basharat is 12-0, 27 years old, 5'9", with a 69-inch reach. So this is a very interesting fight because I really like Tony Gravely as a fighter. He's a very good wrestler. He's got very good takedowns and top control when he gets those takedowns. Has solid striking with tons of power. He's got very good counters, and I really like that about him. So he can stand and he can also go to the ground. But the red flags though on him, he sometimes gasses out in the later rounds, like the second and third round, depending on maybe his wrestle-heavy game plan. And his submission defense is very suspect. Out of his 7 losses, I think 5 of them have come by submission. And Basharat, he's a very well-rounded fighter. He's got good striking, good grappling, good wrestling too, good cardio. I wouldn't say he's a knockout threat, but he can get the knockout. And this one, it's a tough one to predict here because I can see a path to victory for both these guys, but I'm going to roll a dice. And I really like Gravely as a fighter, like I said. And I'm not saying Basharat's a bum or anything, but I'm going to pick Gravely to win. I just think he's going to be able to use his wrestling effectively. He's going to be able to get those takedowns and get control time on the mat. he just needs to be careful with submissions when he's on top. He's got to watch out for the guillotine, any not arm triangles, but the triangle chokes or anything like that. He's gonna have to be careful. But I like Gravely here. As long as he just is safe on the mat when he gets down there, I think he'll be okay. On the feet, it'll be a little bit closer, but Javid does like to push forward, and Gravely's a good counterpuncher. So, and he has power with the check left hook and his right hand too. So with my pick though, I don't think there's gonna be a finish here. I think Tony will be able to and probably go to the judges' scorecards, and I think it's gonna be a decision here. So my pick is Tony by decision. And then we'll go to the next one here, which will be Aspen Ladd versus Sarah McMann. Ladd is 9-3, 27 years old, 5'6", with a 66-inch reach. And McMann is 13-6, 41 years old, almost 42, 5'6", with a 66-inch reach. So this is the first women's MMA fight of the night, and Ladd's kind of been on the downslope lately. She's very tough, though. She has decent striking when she's on the feet. She's a good wrestler, but, man, her fight IQ is very questionable, to put it nicely. I don't know. It's hard for me to back her right now. She's just not looking her normal self, if you want to say. But McMann's a very good wrestler, very good takedowns. Her striking isn't the greatest, but she can hold her own. And again, I can't pick Ladd until she shows me that she's improved her fight IQ and maybe even improved her fight game overall. But I'm going to go with McMann here. I think she's going to get this done. I think she'll be able to take down Ladd. Ladd could take down McMann as well, but like I said, I just can't trust Ladd at this time. So I'm going to go McMann. I think it's going to be pretty much a wrestling fight, if you want to say. I think she'll be able to control the majority of the fight on her when she's on top control. And if not, then maybe Ladd can pull away with her striking and maybe win a decision. But I'm going to go with McMann, like I said, and I think she wins this one by a decision as well. Okay, we'll go to the next one. It's going to be Maria Agapova versus Jillian Robertson. Agapova is 10-3, 25 years old, 5'6", with a 68-inch reach. And Robertson's 10-7, 27 years old, 5'5", with a 63-inch reach. So here is another fight where I'm basically going to be fading a fighter, but Agapova is a good striker. She's got good power for the division. She has some decent grappling when she's the one on top. And she has very questionable cardio. And when she does get taken down, she has very questionable defensive grappling when she gets dominated by good grapplers. So, and what do you know? Jillian is an amazing grappler with amazing submissions. Her striking isn't the greatest, but she definitely can hold her own. She's got pretty good takedowns. Sometimes she does struggle to get the takedown, but I think she'll be able to take down Agapova. She just needs to be careful that she doesn't get clocked trying to go for those takedowns. So with my pick, though, I'm going to pick Jillian here. I just think she's going to dominate Agapova on the mat. And if I could see like a rear naked choke, maybe the arm bar once she gets the mat, maybe in the second round, because like I said, Agapova's cardio tends to fade very fast, especially if she gets on the ground and Jillian's working submissions and stuff like that. She'll just get tired. So with my pick, though, I'm going to pick Jillian to win by submission. I just can't trust Agapova until she shows us that her cardio is better and she's worked on her grappling game. All right, moving on up the card, we got Anthony Hernandez versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Hernandez is 9-2, 28 years old, 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. And Marc-Andre is 14-5, 32 years old, 6'1", with a 73-inch reach. So Hernandez is a very good grappler with very good submissions. His striking is okay, but I mean, he wants to take this to the mat. He wants to make this a grappling match. He's got very good cardio as well. And yeah, he's a really good grappler, and he's shown it in his last 2 fights against Josh Fremd and Rodolfo. And then Marc-Andre, he's a well-rounded fighter. He's got pretty good striking. He's got some power in his hands, got good wrestling and takedowns. He doesn't really do anything super amazing, if you want to say, but he's not horrible either. So, but I think he'll have the edge on the feet with his striking, but on the mat, I think there's a massive advantage for Hernandez. And I do think he'll be able to get takedowns on Marc-Andre. So I'm going to pick Fluffy here. I think he's going to be able to take him down. Like I said, he'll use his grappling and wear down Marc-Andre and maybe eventually get a late round sub, maybe second or third round. But if not, I can see him winning a pretty easy decision as well. But with my pick, I'm going to say Hernandez wins by submission. Okay, next fight, we got Damon Jackson versus Pat Sabatini. Jackson is 21-4-1, 34 years old, 5'11" with a 73-inch reach. And Sabatini is 17-3, 31 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. So this fight's going to be very fun. Both guys are very similar. They have decent striking. They're very good wrestling, very good grappling and submissions. But I will say Sabatini will have the edge in the striking department. I think he's just a little bit more technical, maybe have a little bit more power as well. But I don't think this fight will take place on the feet for an extended amount of time. Maybe the first round just to feel each other out. But I do see this fight going to the mat. And if that's the case, I still like Sabatini here. I think he's got a little bit more slicker, if you want to say, transitions on the ground with his grappling. He's got some. I don't know about slicker submissions, but I just think he's quicker. He takes the back very well when he's on the ground, and his sweeps are very good if he's on his back. But he can get the takedowns here against Jackson. Jackson's a good wrestler too, but I don't know who's going to shoot for takedowns first. But if Sabatini's on his back, I feel comfortable. But if Damon Jackson's on his back, I think Sabatini will have the edge for sure. So I'm going to pick Sabatini here. I think it's going to be a very close fight. But I do lean his striking a little bit better, and I do like his grappling better as well. So with my pick, I'm going to say it's going to be close, but Sabatini will win this one by close decision. Next one we got is Trevin Giles versus Luis Cosce. Giles is 14-4, 30 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. Cosce is 7-1. 27 years old, 5'9", with a 71-inch reach. So this is going to be a pretty interesting fight as well. Giles is coming off of 2 KO losses. They were to Michael Morales, which he's a monster, and Duplessis, which is another monster. So you can't really fault them for those 2 knockouts. These guys are up-and-coming prospects who are very good. And Cosce, I think he's also coming off a knockout loss, and that was to Sasha. Not the greatest looks there, but Giles is a solid striker. He's got some decent power. He's got okay wrestling too and grappling. He doesn't really use it that often. At least we haven't seen it too much in the UFC. Cosce is definitely going to be the more explosive guy. He's got good striking, good power, but his cardio is very suspect. He hasn't fought in about a year and a half, maybe a little bit more. But so maybe he's been working on his cardio here. But with my pick, though, I'm going to go Giles. I think he can at least survive the pressure and pace of Cosce in the first round. I'll be sweating it a little bit. I'm not going to have a bet on this fight. If I do, maybe the under, because Cosce is very dangerous in the first round. He's very explosive. He's got that power. But after the first round, that's where I think Giles can come through here. Piece him up on the feet, maybe get a takedown after Cosce is a little bit tired, and either get a late round finish or a decision win. So with my pick, though, I'm going to go with Giles to win. I'm going to say he's going to win by decision. I just don't think there's going to be a finish here. But like I said, if I would bet this fight, it may be the under, even though I said decision, but I still like the under in this fight for betting purposes. But I might just not touch this fight at all. Okay, next fight is going to be Nicholas Motta versus Cameron VanCamp. Motta is 12-4, 29 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. And VanCamp is 15'6" and 1, 29 years old, 6'2" with a 74-inch reach. So this is a striker versus grappler matchup here. Motta is going to be the more technical striker. It's got decent power in his hands as well. He's not much of a grappler, but he does have a good takedown defense, and he's got some he's got pretty good like a sprawl and brawl kind of guy, if you want to say. He's got good takedown defense. That's what I meant to say. And VanCamp is a very good grappler. He's got good submissions. On the feet, he's very hittable, but he does have some sneaky power if he lands cleanly. But most of his shots aren't straight shots. They're not very technical. They're kind of looping power shots. And I think Motta will definitely take advantage of that on the feet. He's going to be the better striker, like I said. With my pick, though, I'm going to go with Motta here. I think he's just going to be able to stuff those takedowns of VanCamp. And if this is going to be played out in the feet, I like Motta all day, even though he's going to be the smaller guy. It's going to be about looks like a 5-inch height shorter, and it's going to be 4 inches of length. But if he can get inside, which I think he will, I think he'll be able to get the knockout here maybe, or maybe even a decision. Also, another thing to note, VanCamp fought about 2 months ago, and he fought Andre Fialho and got knocked out pretty bad. So he did land a couple good shots, though, on Fialho, but Fialho's chin's pretty good, and his chin wasn't as good as Fialho's that night. So with my pick, though, I'm just going to go with the more dangerous striker here, and I'm going to go with Motta to win, and I'm going to say he wins by a knockout. Okay, so the next fight, moving on up here, it's going to be Trey Ogden versus Danielle Zellhuber. Ogden is 15-5, 32 years old, 5'11", with a 71.5-inch reach. And Daniel is 12-0, 23 years old, 6'1", with a 77-inch reach. So Ogden is he has good grappling and okay striking. He's got a lot of submission wins, which is always good to have. But I wasn't really super impressed with his fighting style, if you want to say, especially in his last fight against the Monkey King, Jordan Levitt. He didn't look that great striking, and we all know Jordan's not the greatest striker either. So I'm not sure why he couldn't take advantage of that. And it looks like he didn't want to go on the ground with him either. So that was kind of worrisome. And with Daniel, he's making his UFC debut. He won recently, about a year ago, on the Dana White Contender Series, and he looked very good in that fight. Very technical striker. He's got good power in his hands. He's good kicks and all that. He's a very good striker, and I like Daniel here. I think I know he's young, but he's undefeated. He's very dangerous. He's going to have the huge reach advantage and a little bit of height advantage as well. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of Ogden's style of fighting. And I don't think he'll be able to out-grapple him for 3 rounds or even submit him here. So I'll make this one short here, though. So with my pick, I like Daniel to win. I think it's going to be maybe by a second or third round knockout. All right, so we got the main card here. It's going to be Andre Fili versus Bill Algeo. Fili is 21-9, 32 years old, 5'11", with a 74-inch reach. And Algeo is 16-6, 33 years old, 6 foot, 73.5-inch reach. So this is going to be a fun fight. It's one of the fights that I'm actually looking forward to see how both of them do here. Fili is a solid striker. He's got good wrestling in his back pocket, but lately he's just been relying on his striking more so. And Algeo, amazing wrestler. He's got amazing cardio. He likes to push a pace to out-cardio his opponents, if you want to say. He's got good pressure. His striking is okay. He's not like a power puncher. He's not going to knock you out in one shot, but he can piece you apart. And on the mat, I think that's where he's the best. He's got good grappling, good submissions, good transitions, good sweeps here. I like the underdog here in Algeo. I think he's going to be able to get it done. On the feet, I think he can give Fili some problems with his pressure, and he's kind of unorthodox style of striking as well. He keeps his hands kind of low. He likes to do some spinning back fists, some elbows, and like flying knees and stuff. Fili's more of a technical boxer. He's got good kicks too. But what if this fight does get to the mat, though? I really like Algeo. I think his grappling will he'll show his grappling skills off, if you want to say. And Fili might look good in the first round. He might win the first round. But like I said, with the pressure and the pace that Algeo puts on his opponents, I think Fili's going to start fading a bit as the fight goes on. He'll maybe Algeo will be able to get a takedown or two and work his grappling and get some control time, maybe wear down Fili a little bit more, and maybe get a submission at the end. But if not, I do like Algeo to win this by decision too. It might be a 29-28 decision, but that's what I'm going to go with, my pick. So Algeo by decision is my pick here for this one. Very good fight. All right, next fight should be another fun one here. We got Alan Amedovski. Sorry, I can't say that one. And versus Joseph Pyfer. Alan is 8-3, 34 years old, 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. And Pyfer is 9-2, 26 years old, 6'2" with a 75-inch reach. And all aboard the Pyfer train here. This guy is a stud. He looked very good on the Dana White Contender Series, which was 2 weeks ago, almost 3 now. And he looked great in that fight. He got the knockout. I think that Dana White Contender Series episode, he was the only one to get a contract, and he looked great. He very good, powerful striker. He's got wrestling as well, good grappling, good takedowns. And with Allen, he's a striker. He's got good power, and that's really about it. I mean, I just think this is a Joseph Pyfer fight all day here. I think he should be able to get it done in the first round, whether it's on the feet or on the mat. And like I said, I don't see this one getting out of the first round. I think it'll be a knockout for Pyfer here. So with my pick, I'm going to say Pyfer wins this one by a knockout. Very excited to see him fight again, though. He was very entertaining in his last fight. Next fight is going to be Tanner Boser versus Rodrigo Nascimento. Boser's 28-1, 31 years old, 6'2", with a 75.5-inch reach. And Nascimento is 8-1, 29 years old, 6'2", with an 80-inch reach. So, all right, we got another striker versus grappler matchup in the heavyweight division. I think Boser's going to have the edge in striking, no doubt. He's very technical. He's got good kicks. He likes to keep range. He keeps his range well as well. Very good. He's got decent power. He's got good cardio for a heavyweight. He's a smaller heavyweight, so usually, the smaller heavyweights do have a little bit better cardio. If he gets taken down, though, he's okay off his back. He'll survive. But with Nascimento, he's a very good grappler. He's got very good submissions. He's not the greatest on the feet, but he wants to get this fight to the mat. He's going to look for takedowns. And I was going back and forth with this one, but I ended up going with Boser. I think just him being the quicker fighter, he's going to need to keep his range, like I said, which he does keep range very well. As long as he just keeps moving and maybe gets this fight in the later rounds and tries to tire out Nascimento, I think he'll have a better chance of winning this one. But if he gets taken down in the first round, he's going to Nascimento's live for that submission. So with my pick, though, I'm going to go with Boser. I think he'll be able to, stuff those takedowns and stay out of trouble, if you want to say. And I think he'll be able to outstrike him to a decision, maybe. Or it could be a third round knockout, maybe if Nascimento gasses out. But I'm going to go with Boser by decision. Okay, so we got the co-main event, which is going to be a very fun fight. It's going to be Chidi Njokuani versus Gregory Rodrigues. Chidi Bang Bang is 22-7, 33 years old, 6'3", with an 80-inch reach. And Rodrigues is 12-4, 30 years old, 6'3", with a 76-inch reach. But yeah, this fight is going to be fireworks. Chidi is an amazing kickboxer, amazing striker with tons of power, very good kicks, elbows, kind of like a Muay Thai striker. He uses all 4 limbs, if you want to say. He's going to have the technical edge on the feet for sure. He's not really a wrestler or grappler, but he does have good takedown defense, but he's only at 75%. So it's not like he's amazing at his takedown defense, but he's got good takedown defense. And Rodrigues is a very well-rounded fighter, very good fighter. Has good striking, good power in his hands, good grappling, good wrestling. He likes to stay on his feet more times than not, but we did see in his last couple fights that he's going for takedowns. I think he's going to need to go for takedowns in this fight because at times he can be very hittable. And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I mean, his nickname says it all. He's a very dangerous fighter here. And we've seen Chitty get rocked a couple times, actually, by lesser strikers, too. So I like Chitty here as the underdog. I think it's close to a pick'em, but I'll let you know later in this video about my bets. I did get him at plus money. So to me, he's the underdog. So I'm going to say underdog. Rodrigues does have a chance to win this one. He's got to use his wrestling and grappling. Otherwise, he's not going to win. But I think Rodrigues may test the waters a bit in the first round to see where he's at with his striking. And I think that might be a bad move because Chitty doesn't need too much to get that knockout, maybe a minute or so, because he's got that power and he's got a very long reach of 80 inches. He'll have a 4-inch reach advantage. So he keeps his range very well. So with my pick, I'm going to say Chitty does get that knockout, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round. All right, main event time. We got Corey Sandhagen versus Yadong Song. Sandhagen is 14-4, 30 years old, 5'11", 70-inch reach, and Song is 19-6-1, 24 years old, 5'8", with a 67-inch reach. So this is going to be a very interesting, fun fight to watch. Both guys are mainly strikers. Sandhagen's a little unorthodox with his striking, but he's very technical at the same time, which I don't know if that makes sense. It might be an oxymoron. He likes to stay at range and uses elbows, flying knees when he can at the perfect times. He likes to set those up. Song is a very technical boxer. He's got huge power in his hands. He likes to push forward and kind of intimidate or bully his opponents. So, and I will give Sandhagen the grappling edge. I don't think this fight will get to the mat, but if by some weird chance, maybe he can take his back with a weird exchange, or maybe Song like falls and trips or something. If he takes his back, he's going to have the edge for sure. Maybe get that submission, but I think this fight will mainly play out on the feet. And I was kind of going back and forth with this one as well. And what really led me to pick the fighter that I think is going to win, which is Sandhagen. I'm going to go with Sandhagen. I'm sorry. It's the 3-round fight versus a 5-round fight. This is going to be 5 rounds. I like Sandhagen in 5 rounds. If this was going to be a 3-round fight, I may roll the dice and pick Song here, but Song's never been to a 5-round fight. We've seen Corey go 5 rounds in his last couple fights, I believe, against Dillashaw and Jan. And some people say that he won the TJ Dillashaw fight. It was a split decision, very close fight. And yeah, I think that's the deciding factor, what made me pick Corey. I mean, I don't blame anybody for picking Song, but I think he's going to be dangerous in the first couple rounds for sure. But I think Corey can survive those at least and stay on the outside, stay at range. He's going to have a little bit of a reach advantage of 3 inches and 3 inches of height. So yeah, I'm going to go with Corey here. It's going to be a very fun fight. I do think he's going to edge out a very close decision, maybe a 48-47 decision. But yeah, I don't blame anybody if they like Song here. He's a very live dog, I think. But all right, guys, those were my picks so far, and I'm just going to jump right into my bets so far. My first bet of the night, let me get to it real quick, is going to be an underdog bet. And I'll go to the fight real quick, so I'll show you. Where are you? If I can find it. It's all right. I'll just tell you right now. It's going to be Bill Algeo. Here it is. I found it. Yeah, I got a bet on Bill Algeo here. I got him at plus 110. I bet 1 unit on that. I just think his matchup is really good. He's looked very good in his last couple fights. And we all know that he's got great cardio, great grappling. I think he'll be able to give Fili some fits on the feet. I'm not going to lie, with his pressure and pace. And he could be live for a late sub too if he can just out cardio Fili to the point where he's exhausted. But I think he'll get it done by decision, and I'm pretty confident in that one actually. So we will roll the dice on that. Like I said, 1 unit bet at plus 110. And my next bet is going to be another underdog bet. Like I said earlier, it's going to be Chitty Bang Bang here. I got a plus 100 line for him, and I bet 1 unit as well. I just think he's the more dangerous fighter. He's going to be the more dangerous striker for sure. He's got huge power. He's got that reach advantage. And I don't think Rodrigues is going to be able to take down Chitty maybe more than once. And if Rodrigues doesn't go to his wrestling early, I think that might be a poor choice by him, if you want to say, because Chitty is very dangerous in the first round, and his power translates throughout the whole 3 rounds. So I like Chitty as an underdog here, and I'll take it all day. And if he doesn't get the knockout, I think he'll be able to outstrike Rodrigues for 3 rounds too. So we will go. And my final bet that I have so far, I bet 1.25 units on Hernandez and Pyfer to win, and I got that at plus 101. So with Hernandez, I like his matchup against Marc-Andre. I think he's the better grappler. He's going to have a huge grappling advantage. I think he'll be able to get the takedowns and work for that submission. Maybe in the 2nd round, he'll get it, 3rd round, but I can definitely see a submission win for him. And with Pyfer, I think he's the better overall fighter. He's the better striker. He's the better wrestler as well. He's got huge power in his hands, and I think he gets it done in the 1st round. All righty. Let's jump into here real quick. But all right, guys, those are my picks, predictions, and bets so far for UFC Vegas 60. I'm used to saying UFC 279. So thank you, everybody, for watching. And please hit that like and subscribe button on your way out if you haven't yet. Please be sure to check back in the comment section of this video. I will be posting more of my bets that I do throughout the week. And also check my Instagram and Twitter. I also post my betting slips on there as well. So I hope everybody enjoyed the fights this weekend. And until next time, happy fight night.